Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. This is the beginning of an excerpt of a live interpretation of an oral commentary given by Bhikkhu Thich Tue on the Avatamsaka Sutra.
Are we sure that we want to, remove ourselves from all of the desires? We really have to need to ask ourselves, if we are practicing within 1 week and we are able to transcend out of our desires, do you think you'll be able to do that within a week? In the beginning, you had this great faith and you think that you will be able to do it. But after 1 week, you were not able to do anything at all. So regarding these desires, do you think you will be able to transcend them at all? So many times during meditation practices, I always talk to the nuns and the monks because it looks like the goals that we are trying to reach.
And the way we understand this goal is so very mindless.
So sometimes we listen to the teaching, we heard that the great masters talk about the Dharma, and we have this faith about the Dharma, but somehow this faith is not concrete enough, it's not deep enough. For example, the Buddha always talk about something that is unborn and unceasing. So if you actually really recognize this, then you would be so happy living in this life. And this is something, the unborn, unceasing is something that's actually existing in our life.
From moment to moment, from sadhana to sadhana, it is so minuscule.
This unborn, unceasing, without that, what we call unborn and unceasing, we will not be able to exist in this life. But this is not something that we can actually touch or can see with our senses. We cannot touch and see with our senses, our 6 senses. But, in this life, we base on our senses to be able to live in this life. But in regards to this unborn and unceasing aspect, we cannot use our 6 senses to grasp it. So when we try to strive for, to strive for realization, we base our efforts on the 6 senses, and everything that we see and we see and we hear, everything is within the streams of the 6 desires. So if we try to get rid of this desire, but then we ended up basing our senses on other our realization on other senses, then there's no way that you can reach anything, because you're still basing everything, your dharma, on the 6 senses. Would you be able to, or would you be willing to let go of your 6 senses? Would you be willing to let go of your hearing and your looking and your seeing and your feeling? The Buddha said you have to let go of everything. So that means that you don't really have that complete faith in the Buddha Dharma, in the Buddha's words, because you still you're practicing on the 6 senses. So the Buddha had said that your understanding, your seeing, is a sick way, an ill way of seeing, an ill way of listening, an ill way of looking at. So how can you find a way so that you don't base your practices on your 6 senses? It's actually very easy. All you need to do is to let go and to relax of your body and your mind, so that you don't need your senses to see. You don't need your sight to actually see. That way you are no longer basing. You don't base everything on the 6 sense anymore. So then when you close your eye, you can still see. When you don't listen, you can still hear. So right now we are listening and we are seeing, correct? And we are breathing right now. Is there anything that is different than that breathing? Is there anything that different than the seeing, different than the listening? Of course, there's something. There's something that is aware that you are breathing. There's something that's aware that you are breathing. Even if you don't see, that awareness still knows. Even if you don't listen, that awareness still knows. Would you be willing to look for that? So would you be... So if you can reach that which can see, that which can hear without being based on the senses, then you'll be able to go beyond all of that. But because we always pay too much attention on the seeing, make it important. Oh, this is good to listen. This is not good to listen. This is good to look at. This is not good this is not good to look at. So we're not actually trying to recognize that which sees, that which feels, that which hears, but we are looking at that because that which can be aware of something else. It's not attached to the sound. It's not attached to the sight. No, because after we listen to the first sound, and there's a second sound, so we continue to listen from the first sound to the second sound, and we also listen to the middle part between the two sounds. So everything is very the awareness is continuous. In the beginning, we don't think of that awareness. We always think, oh, I am seeing, I am hearing, and we base our hearing on our, for example, on our hearing senses, on our faculties. So we are thinking that our ears are listening, but there's one person, this awareness that is aware that there is a sound that is being heard by ourselves. So it is an awareness that is recognizing beyond the eye who is seeing, beyond the eye who is hearing. Because right now, the truth is that we are sitting right now, the sound is here, we are listening, and we can listen to the sounds, and we hear the sounds from all corners, from all directions, in the front and the back, to the sides. So now we have to be a little more awake. And then if we are more awake, then we can realize that, oh, there's myself who's listening, and there's a sound that is being listened to. And then if you calm your mind a little more, then you would recognize that there is one person, another person who is recognizing that this person is listening to that sound. So if you can recognize at the third level, which is the person who is constantly listening and seeing, so you would see that there are different layers. So first, the first layer is the sound that you are listening to. If that is the way, then the sound is not you. And then there is this person who is listening to the sound, but this person is actually being recognized by the awareness. So the awareness that recognizes that this person is listening to this sound, then that awareness is beyond the eye and beyond the sound. So if you dwell on the awareness, then you would go beyond the sound, and you would go beyond the person who is listening to the sound. So this is what the Buddha is trying to teach us. So if you cannot see this awareness or this third level, then there's no way that you'll be able to go beyond. There's no way that you can transcend it. But right now, if you can merge with that awareness or abide in that awareness, then there's no way that the desires can swing you away or something like that. But the simple thing is that you recognize the third person who knows and who recognizes everything. That awareness recognizes that we are sleeping. That awareness recognizes that we are functioning, and it recognizes that, oh, this emotion is arising, and it knows everything. It is aware of everything. So this is very easy. So you just have to step beyond it a little bit. So that which we see, that which we hear is not us, right? So throw that away, abandon that. And then this listening, this hearing, this seeing is also being known by the awareness, which is the third person. So would you be able to discern the awareness, the third person, the third tier person who is recognizing everything? That so even if you're sleeping or you are in a mode of afflictive emotion, when the afflictive emotions arise, that awareness still recognizes it. So if you can do that, even if your afflictive emotions arise, and you can still be aware of it, and you recognize it, then the afflictive emotions are not you. So that's what all the past masters of the past have said. So I'm knowing right now, right? But I am knowing right now is not I, because there's still a third person who is aware, who is recognizing that I am listening, that I am knowing. But we never go beyond. We always have all these thoughts arising, and then we how say we all the thoughts arising, but we identify so I would identify myself with the afflictive emotion. I think that the afflictive emotions are I, but no, the affliction are not I, the afflictions are not me, because there is still another person, a third person, who is recognizing that this I is being upset, or this I is having these afflictive emotion. So the afflictive emotion cannot be identified as I. The afflictive emotions cannot be identified as me, because it's still being recognized by a third person, that awareness that is ever existing. So this is what you need to recognize. You don't need to study too much, because if you sit here at this moment, you cannot recognize that awareness, then even if you are a scholar who knows everything, there's no way that you can transcend. So if you study all the sutras, and you know so much about the sutras, but still you cannot recognize this very awareness at this present moment, in this vivid presence. If you need to come back to this very moment, this very vivid presence, because that would be so wonderful. All you need to do is open the door and step into your house. So I'm saying that if you want to be a Zen practitioner, it's so easy. It's just like you bite on a piece of a grain of rice. But the thing is that people don't teach other students about this. So because the masters need to be living this moment, to be living this awareness, and then they need to teach to their students. But to practice Zen is actually very easy. So in the past, we used to ask, what is Zen? So Zen is the living force. So a person who is a Zen practitioner is a person who lives fully, completely in each moment that passes, in each vivid presence. So don't identify yourself with all the all the stuff that is going on around you. It's actually very, very simple. If you drink one drop of water, it even takes longer than not identifying yourself with all the things that are happening around you. Not identify yourself with those though I call miscellaneous things. So once you are able to recognize this awareness that knows everything, and when a Zen practitioner could merge with that, then they would be they would be filled with energy. It's before they used to be fearful, but no, they are not fearful the moment they could recognize that vivid presence and that awareness that is ever existing. So don't talk about karma. Don't say that you cannot you cannot recognize it because you have heavy karma. No, that is not true, because the Buddha and ourselves are exactly the same, but the only difference is that the Buddhas recognize that awareness, or that vivid reality, that is ever existing. So if you never leave this this vivid presence, you never leave it, and you always abide in it, then there's no way that you can can suffer. So right in this very moment, if you can recognize it, and right in this moment, you can actually realize what we call Zen realization. Don't wait for anything. People usually say, oh, I want to study the Dharma, and then I go home, I would do something. No, you don't study the Dharma that way. If you want to study the Dharma correctly, you have to realize it right in this very moment, right in this very vivid present. You identify yourself with the vivid present and not with all the miscellaneous things that are happening around you. So once you are able to recognize it, then all the karmas will just be shattered altogether. So actually the Zen masters of the past are so intelligent, so wise to be able to teach us to recognize that which is unborn, unceasing. But why is it that we never want to recognize it? Why? Because you still want to embrace the things that happened in the past? Is that why? Why is it that you don't want to stay with the vivid presence? Because the vivid present is what is so fresh, it's ever changing. But if you are able to abide in this very vivid presence, then you can become realized so swiftly. There's nothing to do anything, because once you are able to abide in this vivid presence, then the love you have for all the sentient beings are so wondrous. It's so wondrous. And you just want to hug them all, embrace them all, and then to care for them. It is how you say, the senses of love, are so full, and it's just like you want it become pervasive, and it pervades the whole universe. And so this energy of love is everywhere in the universe, but it somehow changes according to our mind. So if our mind is obstructed, then this energy of love is also obstructed. But if our mind is unimpeded, then the energy will be unimpeded. So if our mind is small, the energy is small. But the energy in the universe, it changes with our mind in every moment according to our, I would say, our afflictive emotions. So let's say if we are sitting here and we have we've been in love before, and we have this love in regards to another I guess like for example between male and female love. If you have this kind of love, for your partner, then there's no way that you then you should be able to have this love arise, and this love that pervades the whole universe and pervades the whole sangha, pervades everything that pervades everything that you know. Then if you have this kind of feelings, then actually you have real love, and it's like that whatever you listen, you can love. Whatever you hear, you can love. Then when we have this life that it's filled with love, everywhere you go, everywhere you see, you only feel love. And so then that kind of love will bring you very powerful energy, so that you'll be able to live a very a very fruitful life. So this is not something that we are using our perception to imagine. No, but actually we have this knowing that is beyond the eye and that beyond the senses. So we think that we are being stuck here, right? But no one is being stuck, because primordially we have this knowing that always knows, that always is aware. We have already been beyond everything. So we have already been this kind of luminosity, this light that is filled with love. But why is it that we have forgotten, and then we do not want to identify ourselves with the vivid presence, yet we identify ourselves with all the miscellaneous stuff, you know. So if we are here and we have and we identify ourselves with this vivid presence, then you would be so unobstructed in that beyond imagination. You don't need to put in effort or to put in effort to practice in order to abide in this. No, it's actually, it depends on your correct view. If you have the correct view, then you can merge with it, right away. So don't ask for practices this, practices that, because all kind of practices, if you base your practices on your six senses, then that is the ordinary way. Because there's this knowing that can see the six senses. So the senses think that they are seeing things, but there's this knowing awareness that sees the seeing that you are, the seeing you are seeing, and there's knowing awareness that also sees the object that you are seeing. So don't identify yourself with the senses or your hearing faculties. So actually, you should recognize that there's this third person who knows that there is the sound that is being heard. Then there's this person who thinks that who hears the sounds. So, well, actually, I wanted to wait until the end of the Avatamsaka Sutra to tell you about this, but I realized that there's so many people have been telling others about things that are not how do you say, that cannot reach the true reality. So if you can live right in this very vivid presence, not being based on the sense faculties, then right away all your karma would be shattered away. So once they are able to merge with this vivid presence, then even a shy person would be able to break free from his or her shyness, and then become a great lion, a fearless lion. So it is so wonderful if you are able to merge with the vivid presence, and then right away you'll be able to become so unobstructed. Right away, your mind will become unobstructed. Your body will become unobstructed. If your mind is without impediment, then there's no way that you can be sick again. Because even if you want to be sick, you cannot be sick because you already recognize this very vivid present, this reality. And so those people who have higher knowledge, they are inclined toward Zen or meditation, but they want to practice meditation, practice Zen. But no, you do not need to put in so much effort. Don't put anything else into yourself. All you need to do is to let go of everything, and then just merge with this very vivid presence. And then there's no way that anyone can stop you from becoming a Buddha. So if you don't practice meditation or Zen, then actually it's a shortcoming. But if you want to practice meditation and Zen, don't waste your effort. All you need to do is just stay right in this very moment and merge with the knowing awareness that is aware of the seeing, that is aware of the hearing, and it is recognized it right in this very, very vivid moment, very vivid presence. So once you are able to merge with it or recognize it, there's no way that you can. There's no way that if you can merge with it, then there's no way that you can either add or subtract or accept or reject. No, this is something that all beings have primordially, especially human beings. The animals because their consciousness are not complete yet. So even though they live kind of close to this concept, but they are not complete. They are not perfect yet. But ourselves, we are actually complete and full in a sense that we can actually inherit this very vivid presence. We can actually inherit the universe. If the universe is unobstructed, if this universe is pure, is full luminosity, then we also have that which the universe has. So actually, that means that primordially ourselves and the universe have never had any differentiation, but because we did not accept it, we did not accept that we are no different than the universe, and then we ended up trying to learn stuff that are more geared toward our consciousness. So those are just like ideas of our consciousness, and then we end up with little knowledge, and these little knowledge is kind of bow us up, and then put us in bondages. And so these knowledge that bind us up, that put us in bondage, just get rid of them. You don't need to use them. You need to bring your level to your mental level to a higher level. You have the rights to do that. Once you are able to recognize this, you would be able to, would be able to see how free you can be. You can be free in every moment, in every circumstances. Even if you are stuck in a circumstance or you are stuck in a prison, it is okay too, because you already feel so free about it. So if you want to merge with the vivid presence, even if your body is in a prison, your mind can already merge with the vivid presence. So you need to recognize it. You need to recognize this knowing awareness that has already been there, and don't make yourself stuck with the sense faculties. So actually, if you want to practice Zen, practice meditation, then it is reality. It is the truth. And Zen and meditation are not efforts. If you practice Zen, but you have to put in strenuous efforts, then no, that is not Zen. Zen is this lively energy, and if you want to have this lively energy, then you have to live with the unobstructiveness, with the unimpediment. So if you live in a moment without impediments, then that is Zen, that is meditation. But if you sit and you close your eyes and you think that is meditation, no, that is not really true meditation. True meditation is lively, is very flexible. It's and everybody is already living in Zen. So but you want to practice, and it's just like you have so many practices, and you use those practices to bind you up, and then you have to reject this, and you have to abandon this, and then you have to accept this, and you think that all of that is practicing meditation. No, it is not, because even if you think that you gain something from doing something like that, it's just a false understanding. Because if you live in a true moment in reality, then there's no way that you can reject or to accept anything. So whatever you do, if you live in this very vivid moment, in this very vivid reality, you are able to see everything, and to know everything, to be aware of everything. But why is it that you don't accept it? I mean, not accept it, you don't identify with this knowing awareness? I've asked 20 times this question already just tonight. And it is so simple for any person to realize, practicing Zen, practicing meditation. But you have to know that being Zen, being meditative, it just simply means that you are not stuck with anything. You're not attached to anything, not even a single thing you're not being attached to. Don't talk to me and say that you are renunciate, that you have renunciation. No, being renunciate or have renunciation is actually attachment. You think that you have attachment and you have to renounce them. well, that is being wrong since the very beginning, because you have collected too much, right? And then now you feel like, oh, I need to renounce. Why did you need to do that? But no, really, if you can recognize this knowing awareness in this very vivid moment, then that person will be able to destroy self-grasping like immediately. You still live like a normal person, but once you are able to merge with this knowing awareness in this very vivid presence. So in the past, we used to be afraid of everything like ghosts and frogs and snails and everything. But once he is able to recognize or to merge with this knowing awareness in this very vivid present, then the fearfulness never come back, because they never live in the past anymore. Even when the moment of the past comes back, the person who has recognized this knowing awareness will be able to be aware of it, but not identify himself with this fearfulness. So if you are able to merge with this knowing awareness, then immediately all the karmas will be swept away, and then you'll be able to be in control of yourself, be in control of your everything. So if you want to go beyond life and death, it's actually very easy. You just need to recognize this knowing awareness and merge with it. So you are not trying to be, we're not here trying to be unmovable, but because we follow our wishes and our desires of our mind. But all these wishes and desires are in the lower level. So once we are able to recognize this very vivid present, then everything else is just below that. So right now our mind and our body is something that is below. So if we live and live our life based on this faculties, then it's just like you're picking up a lighter and then you try to light it up to burn a house. So because the more you try to put in efforts, the more you try to be strenuous, the more you make life more difficult for you. So for all the practices or all the retreats of my nuns and monks, I told them, all you need to do is to be natural, be spontaneous, be natural, be spontaneous. Even if you're breathing, if you want to breathe, then let it breathe and let it so, but this knowing awareness, it's not something that we recognize, but then I'll say try to compare and contrast this knowing awareness with something else. But no, actually, there's nothing that you can be attached to at that moment, and then pervasive love will appear. So that is what we call merging with your own nature of the mind. So it is not difficult. All of you sitting here can actually recognize it. Whether you're young, you're old, whatever, whoever, doesn't matter. You can actually recognize this very vivid moment, this knowing awareness in this very vivid moment, without the past, without the future, without the middle part. So you have to calm down your mind, settle your mind, so you can listen to what I'm saying, right? So there's this sound, first sound, second sound, third sound. So but the sounds are not us. That which listens to the sound is not it's not us neither. But there's this knowing awareness that recognize the sound and recognize the empty the moment that is empty without a sound. But this knowing awareness is always there, is ever existing. There's no way that you can get rid of this knowing awareness. Even if you have forces in this whole universe, you cannot get rid of this knowing awareness because it is the truth, it is the reality. There's nobody who can destroy this knowing awareness. For example, right now we have pain on our body, but this knowing awareness would recognize that, this knowing awareness knows that knows everything that's going on. So even if we're happy, this knowing awareness also knows. If we are sad, this knowing awareness also knows. So when we are sleeping or when we are awake, this knowing awareness always continuously knows and knows and knows, and is aware and aware and aware. So if you want to recognize this, actually it's very easy. You just step back, you just go back 2 steps. So the first thing is the first step is you are listening, right? You are listening to the sound. You are listening to the sound. It's very recognized, right? And then the second step is you know that you are listening. You know of the person who is listening. Yeah, so right now we know, right? So if the teacher continues to talk on and on till the afternoon, you know, right? But that knowing awareness knows. So whatever happens, that knowing awareness would know. If you are sad, if you are happy, if you have money, if you have fame and names, then so all of that is just a very a small desire that is fleeting, that it will disappear within moments. But if you can identify yourself with this knowing awareness, then you will be in bliss. And then even if you are eating, even if you're breathing, everything would be 100 times better and unobstructed. So in the past, in the future, once you recognize that, then of course your faculty skills still see the objects, but you no longer identify yourself with the objects, nor with the person knowing the object. So it is actually very easy. It's very easy, and it is the ultimate. If you want to study from all the books and that's it, that's the ultimate already. There's nothing else beyond that. So you have to try very hard to not let your mind be away from this very vivid present, from this very vivid reality. So you have to abide in this vivid presence. Don't let the outer conditions affect you. So in this very vivid presence, everything, everything exists as it is, exists as it is, exists as a suchness. And this reality cannot be any different. Even if you think, oh, this reality is different, no, that is from your illusion. You think that it's good, this is bad. This is from the lower level, the level of being recognized by the knowing awareness. So why do you want to bother yourself or make it difficult for yourself to be stuck to the lower level? Everything is just so illusionary, right? So that which is the truth is that which knows, that which is the knowing awareness that is ever existing. So actually, if you want to practice meditation, you only need 1 session for a few minutes, and then you can you can ask questions, and you can ask the question, and then we will be able to resolve the issue of that person. That's the way how we should study Zen, So my wish is to be able to study, not to study, to have to have a retreat, a Zen retreat that only takes a few minutes. So, but you know, because I'm teaching this Avatamsaka Sutra, it's so long, and I wanted to wait until I finish this. Wait until the end. To wait until the end to talk more about Zen and to have a Zen retreat. A Zen retreat has to be something that is very fresh, very lively. Yeah, because a person who is practicing Zen, it is something that gives him a lot of I would say zeal, right? Z-E-A-L. I say you are being if you are movable, you are movable, but your wisdom eyes will be able to see through all of that. You'll be able to be unobstructedly seeing all of this without any obstruction, without impediment. So we're not talking about the source of the mind, but this is the source of ourselves. So once we are able to recognize our own roots, then we would disappear. We would no longer be there. Then the self-grasping will also disappear. The moment we recognize this vivid present, this reality, this knowing awareness, and immediately our self disappears, our self-grasping disappear. So this is actually very easy, very simple, and I've known about this since 1987. And ever since I've known about this since 1987, I've tried to look, I've tried in many different ways to find a person who is able to recognize this.
Namo Buddha Shakyamuni. This is the end of an excerpt of a live interpretation of an oral commentary given by Bhikkhu Thich Tue on the Avatamsaka Sutra. The interpreter takes full responsibility for all errors that are solely due to her limitations in English proficiency and in understanding the Dharma.